Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Brandon. This is my first voice tutorial. We're going to talk about cinematic lighting, and this is my way to approach it. There's many ways you can go about it, honestly. This is just from my years of studying it, concept art, experimenting, studying movie frames, just various things, But so I have these slides set up that I'm going to go through and just kind of walk you through, just to kind of help you out if you're maybe struggling with trying to figure out how to do cinematic lighting or how to approach it. Once you get it, you're going to notice a big change in your work. I would say that's what really helped elevate mine and it helped my confidence and everything. Yeah, let's get started. Let's start with slide 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just various artists, works that I like a lot, and kind of show you like just different points, that kind of emphasize the cinematic lighting approach. That's kind of the main point of the tutorial. But so for this one, let's start with Stephen Messing. This particular piece really stood out to me a lot because, as you can see, it has a really nice balance of light versus dark, light and shadow. You see here, I guess on the colored version, you can see the points where the light's hitting the front of the structure, and it's really helping drive the silhouette and emphasize the little details within the structure. It's helping pop those out a lot, and the nice heavy shadow helps push your eye further down here, which is kind of where I guess he's intending you to look, and it really helps you just to play with, I guess, with the idea of the focal points and whatnot. Where do you want to lead your viewer's eye? Where do you want them to look the most, in your piece? It could be everywhere if you want it to be, but usually, you select a particular point. So here I actually outlined here, intentional lighting and shadows help emphasize form and read of the object. Yeah, I can't stress that enough, that it really helps push the form a lot if you're able to choose intentional lighting. I think is the best way to put it, because it's not just lighting by chance, because you're intentionally putting it in an area to make that particular area stand out. So yeah, I think that's a good way to start thinking about it. So yeah, if this was more fatly lit, it probably wouldn't be as interesting, I would say. But it's still pretty. It still work because of composition, but lighting plays a big role, and that's usually what a lot of concept art, looks the way it does as well. So slide 2. Here's another one by artist Nicholas Pirquin. This one here is more of a cinematic keyframe. It's really cool. Batman, as you can see in the doorway, he's pretty silhouetted. He's got some nice light hitting from the top and the upper body, but he's almost silhouetted from the bright, blown out background, helping him stand out. And as well as this, assumed to be the secondary focal point, what he's looking at is this cadaver on the operating table. I'm not sure what it's called, the mortician, but yeah, as you can see, like, it has this heavy, intense light like right above it. Even though you could say that this is like this is almost leading your eye off the canvas, but I mean, we're pretty much stuck in like this triangle almost like of focal area. At least I am. I think that's where he would want our eyes to kind of travel, just kind of stay in this general area here. I kind of outlined it here with the red line tool. So just makes apparent the focal points of the interest. So lighting plays a big part in that, providing the contrast that you ideally want to help stand out, whatever you want, character, environment, monster, creature, whatever. So yeah, that's I guess the second point to kind of consider. So okay, moving on. Here's probably one of my favorite pieces by James O'Brien, called 60s Brooklyn. This one's really cool. There's a nice gritty realism to it. You get to see like almost a heavy percentage, like maybe 80%, 70% of the pictures in heavy shadow. The sides are, but that helps really pop out the silhouette of the car, as you can see. So also the background being atmospheric, a lot less contrasty than the foreground, but lighter than the foreground to help push the foreground, if that makes sense. So yeah, the heavy shadow under the car, this was all really pushed. I mean, this is more stylized for sure, but it's still realistic enough in values that it can almost be a photo, honestly. So yeah, that's a whole nother topic. We'll get to that point at some time, but yeah, this one here is really nice. I used threshold on this to just help push the values, towards the extreme blacks and the whites, so you can really see what's in the light and what's in the shadow. So yeah, the walls and the alley are really pushed deep in the shadow, so that really helps pop out the car again. So this is really nice though. I really like this piece a lot by him. So let's see what's on next. So one of my favorite artists at the moment is Paul Chedeson. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but epic scale master. Yeah, his work is really cool. Always inspiring. Just his imagination is crazy. But actually, I was enrolled in the Learn Square, his course actually, which emphasized kind of early on the whole idea about finding lighting through compositions and graphic reads and whatnot. So that was a big part as to how I guess I started understanding the whole idea behind it. And yeah, you can see here, like besides the epic scale, this has tremendous lighting. Like the setup is just really cool. This nice top light from the right, it's really helped pop out this, I guess, this really cool huge structure. It's nice diagonals. I mean, you can play with the shapes of the shadows as well, depending on the angle. 3D does allow you to kind of play with that a lot, which the second part of this video I'll give you a demonstration, kind of show you some things that I guess how to really like achieve that cinematic lighting you want ideally. But yeah, this here you can see, yeah, I guess there's nothing really too complicated. I'd say just try to keep it simple. Like, start with simple black and white. It's really the key to setting a good foundation for your piece, because if you start trying to do too much detail and worry about all the other things at the start, you'll just overwhelm yourself. Well, I mean, everyone's different, but for me, I always like to keep a sort of simple formula, get that lighting down, the composition. You can clean up perspective and everything, as well. But you have to find what process works for you as well. So that's the thing too. So I'm going to show you one of my pieces. It's not finished yet, but it's like it's I guess a prop technically, since it's just showing off this one thing. So it's like a futuristic house. It's still kind of rough, but you get the idea, like of where the shadows versus the light side is. So I'll turn this on here to help. So you can obviously see that I have top right or right lighting. That's why the shadow is obviously on the left side. And it helps pop again the focal area, which I mainly want it to be on this side, right side, or whatever side you want to call it, of this building. Yeah, it's this building. So yeah, this is, I guess, a good start, I would say, to kind of help show off the shape for one, you know, and also just to lead the eye, or help lead the eye of the viewer along the areas that I would want it, you know, to go, kind of thing. So always start with, I would recommend starting at least with something like this, a little rougher than this. So yeah, if you, I think that would help greatly, at least initially, you know, to kind of start off your pieces. So yeah, I think you know what, we can kind of freeform this too. So these are all set up, but I also have I want to kind of show you like that really every kind of piece has this idea of the light and shadow. If it's not, you know, a prop, well, props too, that also helps. Also, I'll try to give credit to the artists. These are all my saved concept arts I just kind of have over the years, but you can kind of see like that most of them follow the same formula. We'll try to pick out here. This is by Augusto Ribeiro. Awesome characters, so cool. I don't know, it looks like something out of Devil May Cry or Dark Souls or something. But you can see here, even at the top of this character, you see the shadow points like this. This wouldn't naturally occur, so this is all intentional, helping pop out certain select areas of this particular character. You know, his armor, I don't even know what it's called, but you see it's being top lit a little bit, but this is still heavy in shadow, but it's helping pop out particular points, you know, like it's also helping this stand out more, this knight armor helmet with the glowing, you know. Even here, like you see, like I'm sure naturally like light wouldn't fall and hit every point like the way it is, but that's why it's all intentional. It's more like it's modified lighting, or lighting modified to achieve a particular look that you want. So that's why concept art tends to look the way it does, because it's natural light, but it's not at the same time. Like it's like, you know, it's like also, you know, if it's daytime, perhaps it's like the 5 o'clock hour, you know, where sun setting and shadows are like really like hitting in certain areas, so you'll get like this nice fall off from the edge of the buildings, or you know, and everything is encased in shadow here, but it's popping out everything else because it's in the sunlight, you know, the setting sun or whatever. So a lot of these. Oh, that was one by Gilles Beloel. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but French last name, so I'm not sure. But let's see. This is another one. Also, big fan of Arthur's Jan's work. Apologies if I mispronounced any last names or have trouble or difficulties pronouncing it, because I'm just not the best with that, but I'm trying. So but you can see, you know, who's it by right here. So but you can see, you know, again, you know, it's helping push the form. It's light against dark. It's helping really make stand out. I guess just where you overall want to stand out, you know, with your piece. So the thing is, if you were to like really push these towards the values that they're closer to, like, you know, this would fall probably towards black, and this white, and then different parts, you know, within would fall closer toward, you know, their respective sides, white or black, because of the value that they're closer to. But with the color involved and the detail, it's kind of hard to read. But this is all falling mainly in shadow, and little bits are hitting with the light. Like this is light, you know, I'm sure you could tell, but you know, and this is all nicely in shadow. So big fan of this work though. Really cool. I have quite a bit saved. I have so much concept art, so but offers great studies, so, and inspiration, of course. Another favorite artist, Antoine. Very cool. I think this is like a fan art of DBA or something. Really realistic, like this huge mecha. This is always like one of the coolest things I saw when I first got on the art station. I think he was one of the first people I followed, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this also plays with color as well, which is, I guess we could kind of talk about in another video. But just to quickly show, this will probably be my last reference, but just to show you the formula is still here, like just like that other character by Augusto, or you know, the character by Augusto, the knight helmet, same thing. He's got this mask, he's got this nice shadow on the undersides and the top light from hitting, you know, just various parts of the mech. And again, you know, I'm sure the light, you know, unless you set it up specifically like this, it wouldn't naturally fall and hit these points. But you just have to modify it to look the way you want, or pop out, you know, the way you want, you know, the lighting to hit, if that makes sense. So I'll show you in Blender what I'm exactly talking about. So you know, like interesting ways to make light hit your object so you can make it look, I guess, really cool. You know, that's what we were going for. So but yeah, this, you know, so cool, right, with the orange and stuff. So yeah, I recommend searching up all these artists on ArtStation. Really, every artist on ArtStation, everyone's does amazing work, just inspiring. Yeah, I can go on forever, but the formula pretty much repeats on like at least 95% of the work. So yeah, okay, I'll catch you in the next segment. Okay. Hey guys, now we're back into the Blender part. So I have set up this temple with the lighting setups that I'm just gonna play with and kind of show you like the whole cinematic approach. So again, you know, we're gonna go with like modified lighting, intentional lighting, to create interesting shapes with the shadows, and just play with just different aspects of the lighting, so you could see what I'm talking about. So you can see here we have this basic setup with this temple and basic plane, and it's kind of just to show you roughly what I would recommend starting. You know, at least if you're starting with Blender, you can of course start with just a basic cube just to play around with, so you can start kind of connecting the dots with kind of like how cinematic lighting is achieved, you know. So at least for me, that's what helped, because I just started playing around with Blender a lot, and it just kind of clicked. And you know, it's always better when it does, so you just really start having fun with your art. But so yeah, I guess I can at some point also do a more technical tutorial on how to set up lighting for your scene. But here, okay, so currently my lighting's at an angle of 20, and in Blender, I noticed if you play with the rotation on the X, Y, and Z axis, you can really simulate like actual accurate daytime lighting, and it really helps change the shadows. As you can see, like if I move it on the X, it starts shifting it higher and higher, and you can see like it's creating interesting angles. So perhaps this can represent a different time of day, or a different mood, a different, whatever it is you want. You're trying to get a point. Maybe it's a story, or a story point or something, or it's just a particular element on the structure you want to emphasize. Maybe I wanted this element to stick out, or something, or something of that sort, and I could kind of just go with that and just play with it. It really helps just, I don't know, it helps emphasize the form a lot, like we were going back earlier. So you can really help yourself, I think, with just playing around and just not feeling boxed in. 'Cause 3D is really flexible, so you can really go crazy with it, really. Yeah, I love doing this. Just seeing, like, usually I'll know like almost instantly, like, or pretty close, like if I know something's gonna like be interesting to work with, like see like, well, forgive my PC too. I have like a really basic Mac right now. I had to downgrade back to like 10.11, like the El Capitan version. So I had some issues. So I don't have a GPU, so I'm using all CPU. But I do have 32 gigabytes, so and that's a thing. It kind of helps a little bit, I guess. But I still have to pretty much wait on my computer to calculate all this. But it is faster than Eevee, so that's good. Yeah, see. I guess I should show you without the lighting on. I mean, I could go on and just move the light at different points, and you could just see how it just pops out particular points. But this is also, I should say, this is with the sunlight. You can get even more be more hands-on with point light. I would say that's if you're trying to achieve an even more specific area or focal kind of area, because sunlight is kind of supposed to simulate the sun, so it's going to hit your object from a particular side, and you're gonna see the respective shadows of in contrast to where your sun is positioned, kind of thing. But a point light kind of emanates out really like in a 360 kind of manner. I mean, I guess the sun does too, but like not in the way that a point light does, I guess. It's not as strong, and the light rays aren't traveling as far. Let's see if I can kind of get something. I'll switch back to the viewport shading because it's a little faster. So contact shadows too. I think maybe like 500 or something. Yeah. Okay. I think, yeah, that's doing something. Okay. Yeah. And you probably hear my mouse scrolling. I'm not using a mic. I don't know if I mentioned that, but perhaps eventually. Not the best speaker as well, so that's hopefully I'll get more comfortable speaking as well. So yeah, and all the apologies to that as well. But okay, anyways, so yeah, it's you have to really set up point light to get it to kind of simulate nice shadows, and along with the ambient occlusion and all that. But this is just a quick tutorial trying to kind of give you the approach of like cinematic lighting. So you just always want to be intentional with where you're putting it. 3D, you can see where the shadow is going to hit if you put the light in a particular point. my texture is kind of low resi right now, but yeah, it's minor, but you can kind of see. I think it's probably because this light's too weak, but yeah, this is with no lights on, I believe. Or let me see, turn off the lights. Okay, we're still getting a nice HDRI effect, so it's not exactly flat. I would have to like, well, turn on scene world, obviously, but that's gonna put it in darkness. Yeah, so, but this is a good way to see what your lights are doing too. If you just have scene world on, you have no connected HDRI or something, so you can see what your lights are exactly doing. And I especially recommend this if you're doing the sun one, so you can see how it's exactly hitting it. I keep my sun's power at actually lower than 14 usually it's at 10, and the specular sometimes is at 0. So yeah, I don't any higher, it's usually like blows out. At least for my computer, I notice if it's higher, it'll like really start blowing it out, and that's usually too much. So, but that's more the technical side. And of course, artistic license, you can do whatever you want really in your piece. But yeah, this is kind of like a rough idea. Hopefully, I got my point across, I guess, with how to set up, or not set up, but how to kind of just approach your lighting if you're thinking about, or if your piece isn't quite looking the way you want. It might be due to the lighting or lack thereof. So yeah, just if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments or message me, or however you want to go about it. I'll have my links to my ArtStation Instagram as well. So this is a part 1 tutorial as well. So part 2, hopefully it should be more of a technical, how to set up or how to go about achieving particular maybe times of days. I still have to work out exactly what I want to do. Maybe you guys can offer some suggestions as well. Yeah, feel free to again check me out on ArtStation. Trying to expand and whatnot, so offer any knowledge I have and share with you guys and gals out there. So yeah, hope everyone's doing well, and yeah, on to the next one. So thank you, and keep arting.